Okay, this is an example of using Screencast-O-Matic. We have a video cam, a BCC950 conference camera that will give us an image, and that image will appear in the final product somewhere about here, although we can move it around. All right, first of all, we check the Smart Ink tab and make sure the pen is selected. The pen is selected, that means we can write. Okay, so we've previously done alignment to make sure that when we want to make a mark or circle something, that the mark will appear where we want it to appear. All right. Now, let's suppose that we want to change pages at this point. We change pages with a PDF. We can hit the down arrow and we'll change the pages. That will not erase the lines that we have already drawn. If we don't want them, we can come back and clear the ink, okay? If we try and use this as a mouse, what happens is that will put a dot there, and the dot will not make the page advance, okay? So at that point, then we're essentially right-clicking, so what we have to do is go back, clear the ink, which we can do with either the pen or a finger, all right? And now, let's go on. Once you've cleared the ink, then you can use the right arrow, or the arrow there to go to the next page, or you can go back. All right, so let's continue on with this. We're going to talk about exponents, all right? An exponent represents repeated multiplication. So let's say we have the number 2, and we want to multiply it by itself 3 times. So we have 2 times 2 times 2. All right, the way we represent that triple multiplication is with this exponent here. The terminology that we use, 2 is the base, all right, that tells us what we want to multiply. 3 is the exponent. Okay, so 2 is the base, 3 is the exponent. We multiply 2 times 2 and get 4. We multiply that by 2 and we get 8. All right, let's say we want to go on to another example. If we just advance the page, we can just advance the page. There's advancing the page again. The problem with just advancing the page like that is that the ink remains. So let's get rid of the ink. We don't need it. We can leave it if we want, but in this case, it's just an impediment. So clear ink, use that, and let's look at the next example. The next example, we don't have a specific number. We have a variable x, and that variable x represents any one of a number of different values, all right? We want to multiply it by itself 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that'll give us x multiplied by itself 4 times. The way we write that is x in this case, x is the base, and 4 is the exponent, all right? Not having a value for x, we leave it in this form, call it x to the 4th power, and when we get a value for x, we can put that in, complete the multiplication, and come up with a value. All right? So, going back, again, you can clear the ink using either the marker or your finger, okay? And come down, advancing the page again with the right arrow. If we want to go back, we use the left arrow. All right, advance the page with the right arrow. Now we're looking at a special case, okay? Whether we have a variable, when we have a variable or a number, anything to the power 1 is just that number multiplied, or that number existing one time. Anything to the power 1 is just that number, whether it's a value or a variable. Anything to the first power is to the first power, okay? Now, if we raise something to the power 0, okay? Anything to the power 0 is going to be equal to 1, a value, all right? If we raise x to the power 0, we get 1. If we raise 2 to the power 0, we still get 1, okay? Doesn't matter. Y to the power 0 is 1, all right? There is a special case of this, which is 0 raised to the power 0, and that is undefined.